What's up, guys? Welcome to Jack Dodson'S Racing Insider News this week. Got an exciting show.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Okay. That's what you get when you left me alone last week.
So let's thank our marketing partners. Got to thank Papa John's. I'm hungry. Papa John's always providing dinner. Got to thank WALTRIP, Pressure Washing Solutions.
Power wash.
Power Wash?
Yeah.
Power Washing Solutions. Hunter,
And one again this week.
I need to give Hunter some credit. Those videos and him and Bear, I do love the where Hunter put him 3 wide. I mean, he's like 3 wide, 3. And then the next time, don't go 3 wide this time.
But
we got to get Bear on. We got to get him. He's kind of a new spotter, and actually, I listened to it. Does a really good job.
But Aiden Millette was on the show last week. He won again.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Derrick was on the week before that. He won again. We had WALTRIP last week. He won. Come on the show, you win.
I spent my whole life here, Jack, and I ain't done shit. But all right, let's we got Turn 2 synthetics. If you need some Amsoil, talk to our Turn 2 synthetics right here, Langley Speedway, Hunter WALTRIP. If you need some, let's see. GRIER and Associates with Mean Dean Automotive. I think those guys were coming on board this year. Safety Clean, Performance Plus Motor Oil. Got to thank Chuck, Bill, for allowing us to do the show here. We really appreciate this being home.
Chuck. It's kind of like a Chuck night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a Chuck corn dog night.
Corn dog night?
Yeah. Say Chuck.
Chuck.
Okay, you get a corn dog too.
Oh, is that what it is?
He come and told me every time we say his name Chuck, we get a corn dog.
Oh, wow.
Chuck. So we said Chuck. And
so we get a free corn dog?
That's what he told me. Well, I don't know if it's Saturday, but he told me every time you say his name.
I didn't know they served them down there. But thanks, Chuck. So that's, I guess, 2. Bonner's Brother Distillery, Mayhem Management, MPM Marketing, Black Acid Racing Apparel. If you need 1 shirt, 5 shirts. The show is presented by Gen X Motorsports Driver Development and Race Rental Program, and they seem to have a really good program.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in the sport, you don't know much about the sport, you need some help.
I mean,
you just write a check.
They got to be good because
they
got David finished 3rd.
I know, and then he won last week. Well, that was when somebody else's car, but
that was.
I mean, if they won with Danny, yeah. But if they won with Danny, Davey, they got to be cheating.
Peggy Bates says she wants to talk corn dog too, so she said Chuck. Chuck doesn't know what he's got into with us.
Right. Slinger Speed, if you need some local shirts done, you talk to Tim Brown. VA 811 coming back this year. Thanks to those guys. And man, Todd at Factory Canopies and Fluid Logic, man, been a long time supporter. Can't thank Todd and what's her name? Andrea enough for their support. Papa John's for mostly feeding us every week. We, as you know, me and Jack like to eat. So really got to thank those guys for providing dinner every week. The official food of Jack Dodson'S Racing.
That's exactly
right. And Guillermo Amaya, GAC, Great American Company, really appreciate his support for several years now. And with that, Jack's going to go to the news.
And Robbie Parker, I don't know what you're trying to say, but don't worry about it.
That's right. Hey, look, don't be talking.
He don't even talk to me when he's at the racetrack when he sees me now.
Is that right?
Yeah, he just waves and keeps on walking. It's like he's important. He ain't that important. I'm telling you.
He's Robbie Parker.
I don't care who he is.
It's Robbie fucking Parker.
Oh, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. He ain't that important. Anyway, racing this past weekend, man. Big racing down at North Wilkesboro, the return of North Wilkesboro racetrack. I'm going to tell you something. Every race except the cup race. The cup race is kind of boring, but that comes with the territory. But every race other than that was good, hard racing. I watched all of them, and it was some good, hard racing.
I didn't get to watch that much, so I was kind of busy with everything going on.
Yeah.
I did flip the flow racing. I was like, oh yeah, the Wilkesboro, the car store. And I looked, and I'm like, is that the 03 going up on the thing? Did he win? I mean, how big of a win? I mean, you thought winning the Hampton Heat was big.
Well, he said on the thing it was his biggest win ever. But, this kid, I keep calling him kid. He ain't really a kid that much anymore compared to some, but I mean, he is awesome. He's done one in dirt, modified. And no, I see Robbie Parker. I'm ignoring it. But
I got you, Robbie.
But anyway, that was some. So we're going to have Brendan here next week on the show.
What is he going to bring the trophy?
I'm going to hope he does. I'm going to make sure he does because I want to see that thing. I'd like to have a picture with it because, but I do have to disagree with one thing that was stated.
Oh, yeah.
On that show, on the flow racing. And I'm not trying to call out the two guys that call the races, but they obviously don't know what they're talking about. Yes, Wilkes County in North Carolina is a big moonshine county. It is not, and I repeat, it is not the moonshine capital of the world.
Is it still a dry county?
I don't know.
It used to be when we raced late models back there back in the day. It was a dry county.
Well, it might still be. I don't know, but it is not the moonshine capital. Franklin County, Virginia, is the moonshine capital of the world. That's where it all really began and started. Robert Bondurant and all that group, they all came out of Franklin County. And that's where
have you heard from Josh? I see he was on.
Josh did a thing yesterday.
I seen.
And, he's talking about he's doing, he still looks a little weird. I mean, like he's been.
He always looked weird.
But I mean, he looks like he's really been put through the ringer. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, he seems to be doing better. But anyway, so Franklin County, Virginia is the moonshine capital of the world. And when those guys come here for June 6th for the car store, I'm going to have to bring that. I'm going to straighten them out on that because that's not true. And I don't, especially if my own family was in the moonshine business, I ought to know. So we'll go with that. In the Cup Series, Kyle Larson got the win. The Truck Series, Kyle Larson got the win. In the ASA All-Stars, Bubba Pollard got the win.
Oh, who was Bubba driving for?
Was it one of the Rackley cars?
I'm drawing a blank. I remember seeing that he won.
It was one of the Rackley cars, but he beat the field of Cup drivers.
Right, because it wasn't. Damn, who was all in the race?
Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, all of them were in it. And then, of course, Brendan goes in the late model stock cars in the Cars Tour late model stock car race. He beats Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Daniel Suarez, a bunch of them that was in that race. And he gets the big win. Obviously, like we said, his biggest win yet. And he got to ride the elevator to the top of the building. So I know he made a comment that was his dream to be able to do that. And he got to do it. And I think they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to deal with Brendan Queen in the Cars Tour this year. So there's no doubt about that.
What's the point situation over there?
I think he's still. I
think Connor's got the lead, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He had to. I'd have to look at it and see, make sure.
Where Connor had gone?
It's like 5th or 6th.
I'm saying he had a good run.
In the pro late model race, Augie Grill got the win. Came all the way up to North Wilkesboro from Florida and got the win. That was a big win for him. At the series modifieds were at Riverhead Speedway. Justin Bonsignori got the win. In the ARCA East race at Flat Rock Speedway, William Sawalich got the win. Orange County Speedway, Legends winner Carson Hayslip, and the late model winner was Brad McCaskill. Down in Kingsport, 2 modified 4-cylinder races, and the winner was Kevin Campbell.
Yeah,
so far, he's 7 for 7 this year.
Crazy.
Late model winner was Jacob York. Up at Dominion, they raced on Sunday after the rain delay of Saturday night. Late model winner, Doug Barnes Jr. The Bando winner, Brian Runstrom Jr. Dominion Stocks was Richard Powers. Legends was Alec Antrex. Here at Langley Speedway, the modified race.
I wish I'd have come out here. I tried to, but I understand we missed some good racing.
That's what I wasn't here, and I got to see bits and pieces of it, but I didn't sit down and watch it like I did the other ones. But anyway, modified, Matt Carter, he's 4 for 4. He's got 4 wins in a row now. So he's, I think the only other win was it Riley was it Riley? No, who was it got the win? The other win.
Modified?
Oh, Peyton Ferree. Peyton Ferree got the win. All right, in the Virginia Racers, race number 1, Jacob Derrick got the win. Race number 2, Aiden Milet. Come on the show and you get a chance to win a race. I mean, because all 3, including Hunter Waltrip, who won the truck race.
Danny, just come on over, man. There's plenty left. I can't eat it all.
He can try.
I'm gonna put a good dent in it.
In the Enduros, Chris Kane got the win. Pro 6, Travis Wall. And Atlee finished 2nd. Wing champs, Timmy Waltrip. Big race coming up at Dixieland, June the 2nd. The Steel Block Dirt Modified, late models will be down there. Want to turn in and watch that. That's going to be big.
We need to get Danny Harold on here one time.
Well, I'd love to have him on.
Danny, get up with us. You need to come over one night.
And we'll even give him.
We'll even let you have a slice of pizza.
Yeah. Now, we were talking about down at Hickory this weekend. Strange racing down at Hickory.
What happened?
Well, I understand Annabeth Crum decided she wanted to take Landon Huffman out and knock him out of the way, and then her husband.
Oh, she's the one that did that.
And her husband went up there and beat the hell out of Huffman's dad. I understand it broke his nose, and they were fighting on the.
You stomp on him right now.
Oh, God knows. They're fighting in the spotter stand. That's unbelievable.
Hard to believe, huh?
I mean, who would ever? Uh-oh.
Let me see if I can send you something, Lenny.
So anyway, that was they were talking about how big everybody was fighting and carrying on up there. All right, so that's the news for this week. That's not a whole lot. Anyway, Landon Huffman didn't get the win. Clark Houston got the late model win down there. I think it was his first ever win at Hickory. So as soon as we get Lenny BATYCKI hooked up here, we'll get him on here.
I just sent it to you, Lenny. Try that link.
I'll send it to you in Messenger, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the good racing out here this weekend in the Virginia Racers, those kids are something else. I think Riley Music finished 2nd in both races.
Yeah.
And
those kids are putting on a hell of a show.
So anyway, driver of the week, our Gen X GAC driver of the week this week. Brendan Butterbean Queen got the driver of the week. Imagine that. Brendan got the driver of the week. So
Lenny, check your Facebook Messenger. I just sent it to you.
Yeah, the Cars Tour wouldn't put up with that fighting. That's for daggone sure. I agree with you on that. And Mason Diaz got put on probation today for his little incident in the last Cars race.
Oh, what did he do?
He kind of got a little upset with somebody and
roughed him up.
You know, after it was all said and done.
Oh.
So we got put on probation for that.
All right, Lenny's got the link. Let's see if Lenny can pop up here. Yeah, Danny is. What's up, Danny? Danny Harold. He's running the limited this year.
He's running limited and
Modified, probably.
he's running two divisions.
Oh, the street shock. I think he give up the modified.
So Danny Millard. So still waiting on getting Lenny on here. Hopefully we'll be a second. Well,
Yeah, Lenny. Oh, let me tell him. Need to open in Chrome.
oh, and yeah, Tristan McKee, well, in Williamsburg in the pro late model race finished fourth at North Wilkesboro. He had a
did
good
he?
run. Yeah. I had forgot all about that. Robert Kendall just sent me a thing on said,
But I mean the limited here. Well, we keep calling it the Virginia Racer, right?
yeah.
Although I think that might change.
Yeah, I think so. Eventually it will.
We're having some trouble with the things here. Let's see. All right, we got Lenny here.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good
Hey,
man. How are
you
you, bud?
doing?
The glories of technology here.
Yeah, it wouldn't be us if it didn't have some kind of a problem there somewhere.
Oh, I'm telling you. But, glad to be on. Got a big week, Coca-Cola 600. And my prediction, I'm just going to say Butterbean's going to win.
right.
He may not be entered, but he's still going to win because that kid is amazing.
Did you get to any of the races down at Wilkesboro? I mean,
yeah, I was on the PA Tuesday during the rain and the lightning, and Wednesday when Brendan won. So we had a really good bird's eye seat. They don't have us do a lot of announcing up there. The streams take care of most of it. So we're really, well-placed fans that can walk in the back and, grab some food and get back. And every now and then they let us talk. But, man, he was amazing. Lee Pulliam is just an awesome, awesome setup guy. And Brendan's talent, you could just see how much better that combination was than virtually anybody else. But those super late models that followed him, I know some of the crowd went home, but Bubba Pollard and that rocket ship he was in, that was the show of the night for speed and just daring. Those cars, the differential and some of the speed was really breathtaking. When the leaders would come up on some lap traffic, man, they were hustling.
yeah, that was some. I watched it. It was some awesome racing that whole weekend. I mean, or that whole time on that Wednesday, it was awesome racing. So,
yeah, really, really was. In a beautiful facility. I heard Sunday they got the parking lots clear in a little more than an hour and a half. So I was amazed with that. That's everybody coordinating and doing the right thing. And I got a feeling we'll scoot back up there for some more stuff next time.
Yeah, I do too. That was a big topic of conversation yesterday and today. Will they go back to North Wilkesboro? I don't think they cannot go back to North Wilkesboro now after all this.
Yeah, and whatever they want to do up there, I think they've proved that they can hold a capacity crowd up there. They can have a stunning late model race there. They can do about whatever they want. It'll be interesting to see, what the recipe is for next time. But I like that it was different and it was historic. I'd been there in the 90s. And so it was cool to be back there and watch some modern vehicles and some young drivers showcase their talent.
And especially on the same asphalt, right? I thought that was a cool deal, And I know Denny Hamlin was talking about, let's just repave it. I don't know, man. I'm kind of like on the fence. I don't know how bad the asphalt is, but I'm a little bit of a fan having old asphalt and tear the tires up and have to, really save the tires. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think hold off until you have to. There's, another year. Let it become a real problem, and then everybody will be able to honestly say it's time to repave it. But I think right now anybody that wasn't named Kyle Larson should be working on how they're going to be able to get around that track if the Cup guys do go back, or the truck guys for that matter. Gee whiz, he won everything.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he definitely was the man there this weekend.
And to watch Butterbean in his race, that was so much like Butterbean races everywhere he goes. He kind of has to get back there and then work his way to the front and
saving his stuff.
He knows how to save his stuff until the last minute, and then when he got in the front, he was gone.
And I like that Butterbean has transitioned to be a multi-surface racer where he's running there at Dixieland and actually got the track championship last year. So it's cool that, you know, he's not in a box. He's able to maneuver around and showcase his talents as a driver in multiple vehicles on multiple surfaces. That's going to make him more valuable to a car owner that would be thinking, can I get this wild-eyed guy that likes Waffle House and has a mullet in my ride? Well, he's got a lot more rides if you're on two different surfaces and you can prove out both of them that you're able to get victories.
Yeah, and he went down to county line this past weekend and finished ninth and only had 2 laps of practice before he went out and qualified. And then I think he started 14th and finished ninth. I mean, but the first time he'd ever seen that track.
I think he ought to be in a Bloomquist car. Scott ought to pick him up.
There you go. But you know, I tell you what though, but between him and Lee, that has gelled pretty fast. Like I thought it was going to take, you know, the first half of the season for them to really get their feet underneath of them. I thought they would be kind of fast. I didn't think they would have run as well as they have, as soon as they have.
I think the Florence track out there early, maybe or late last year, before they were actually a, you know, going forward Cars Tour team, really gave them a sense of each other. And there was a lot of downtime where they could just sit around and look at the car and go, what do you think? And I think that bonding time was really valuable. And you could tell the respect Brendan has for Lee. He understands his past. He's respectful of Lee's past. And whatever Lee says, Brendan's going to go out there and make that ship go right to the front. It's going to be something to see. Hard for anybody else on the Cars Tour or wherever else he goes to get in front of that machine.
That's exactly right. Now I tell everybody when they ask me about Lenny Battycki, they say, this Lenny Battycki guy, what all does he do? I said, let me tell you, what don't he do?
Yeah, right. That's easy to say.
He's the busiest man I know of. He's in every type of racing.
How many hours a week do you work?
Anytime that I need, 2 in the morning. If there's races going on the West Coast, we try to keep up with them a little bit. When I wake up, got to hit the phone first and find out what went on all across the country. Got Sirius XM with Pat Patterson on 9:45 on Saturdays. Got to keep up to date there because you just never know what's going on at Ocean Speedway over the night. Dominic Scelzi could have won again. He's amazing what he can do out there on the West Coast. I wish he'd start coming back and showcasing what he can do back east. But I just love it. It is my life's work, but it's really what I have a passion for anyway. Yeah,
you do definitely have a passion for it. And now you got another big weekend coming up down with Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend.
Sold out crowd, right?
I mean, they said it sold out today, so that's going to be huge.
Yeah, they were talking about how they were going to have to rope off and fence off and security wise Jack Dodson'S spot. But Jack, trust us, we got you covered. Your media center parking pass or whatever is definitely taken care of, and we'll taser them. We won't shoot them if they end up parking there.
Yeah, okay. Just make sure Al Pierce don't get in front of me.
Now, as long as we tell Al Pierce that the menu is set and the buffet is open, I think he'll look elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
You got that right. So what else going on there? Got any good stuff? I mean, some big things going on with the racing?
I tell you, I think the race week is expanded. Millbridge is running down here tonight with a lot of the best midget racers around in the Extreme Series. They're going to run again tomorrow. Then Thursday, a free event in Kannapolis, right in the shadow of the Dale Earnhardt statue. There'll be a big Legends event with Noah Gregson, Austin Green, and a number of Legends drivers there making what could be, I guess, qualifying hot laps and such. They're going to showcase Legends. A lot of food trucks, a lot of music, a lot of party time, all of the, the gate. There is no gate. You just show up and go and you buy what you want, food and beverage wise. But it's going to be a nice event. Kerry Earnhardt and Earnhardt Outdoors are the sponsors of it. And Kerry will be there as the event Grand Marshal. So I think it'll be a good time. There'll be some drivers to get some autographs from, and just, good racing atmosphere. And then, we go into 3 days more of racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway, from the ARCA Series to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. I still want to say Camping World, when I used to say, Super Truck back in the day. But I like the Xfinity Series coming. Going to be some good kids in that one. And then, of course, the Whopper, the 600, the Coca-Cola 600. Can somebody beat Larson? I think it's the car being built in the same building, the 24, William Byron. He's going to be the guy to beat here, and Larson probably going to have to catch him.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on that one, because Byron has been fast everywhere he goes, but Larson just had a little bit more for him this past weekend.
But Williams been a little bit of a surprise. I thought he was going to be fast. He would win a race or so here, but he has actually done better than I expected him to do.
I think he studies his craft now. I think he's working more on what he needs to do. He's really one of those guys that was very comfortable with the simulator life and the computer life and such, even as a young guy coming in. And I think he's found engineers and people that speak his language at Hendrick now that make him comfortable in the electronic portion of it. And now he can translate that much better over. He knows what it feels like that you just can't feel on a computer, but he can marry that common sense up to what he's doing on the sims. And that's made him a heck of a racer.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, when he came here, he was good in the what was it, the ARC, what is now the ARCA East. When he came here, it's K&N then, but he was really good here. And the thing we talked to him about was all the simulator and all the time he spends on that. And that's how he knows his way around. And I think that's the up and coming way of doing things.
Yeah, it worked for him.
Yeah, I think he's a different animal than Kyle Larson. Larson, much more old school, running the dirt cars and the multiple different vehicles. That would be really a throwback to how it used to be and what he really is, just an awesome talent. Byron is using technology and breaking new ground that, isn't known how they're doing it at Hendrick, but it will be the leading edge things that will make a NASCAR driver of the future, at least in the configuration of the vehicle now.
Yeah, if you think about it with William Byron, things have changed so much over at Hendrick Motorsports with the younger crew chiefs that have come in there, Blake Harris and I can't say all, I can't think all of them right off the top of my head, but they've got some younger crew chiefs. The drivers have gone younger now, and you got Jeff Gordon there to help them on their way to the top. I think it's really cool how it's all meshed a little bit better than what it used to be.
I tell you, I love seeing Gordon in those victory lanes. I love seeing his spunk and energy. He's going to lead the Hendrick crew for decades to come. And I think the recipe right there is now starting to be written by Jeff Gordon as much as it is Rick. And it's kind of like when we transitioned from Bruton Smith at Charlotte Motor Speedway and Speedway Motorsports, and you could start seeing Marcus coming in. And now obviously he's, the guy and the one that, makes all the decisions with his father passing away and such. But I think you're seeing that with Jeff Gordon now, that he's much more in tune with the computers, with the young generation, and that young generation is flourishing under it.
Right. I agree with you on that, because I see a lot of good experience that he can bring to them and make them better. So I think it's really cool. So, Lenny, how much time are you going to get to be able to sleep during this coming weekend?
I don't really know. At least I don't have to. I left Wilkesboro, scooted home, and got a few hours here, and then had to go to Southern Georgia for a Hunt the Front race. Have you heard of that sanction in the dirt world?
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, they're a big internet group. They follow some guys from Florida who were really gentlemen. It was fun to watch and fun to be a part of the announcing down in Southern Georgia on Friday night and then back here. So I had less sleep probably last weekend. At least I'll be able to sleep in my own bed and not have to travel so far. And, who needs sleep? We got Coca-Cola 600 weekend, and we got those. The biggest thing and I know you guys don't forget it. You're right there, Langley and all the military there. But this is a celebration and an honoring of those men and women that gave all everywhere for centuries so that we all could have this, in light of it, this silliness that we call our jobs in motorsports. It's an honor to see and salute the military as they do at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Love what they do at Indianapolis and tracks all around. But this weekend, as much as it's important to go and see the races when we're there and they play that song, stand, if you can, salute, and remember that there were really tough times that these folks had to go through to earn us this valuable freedoms and constitution that we enjoy now.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
1000%.
Well, Lenny, we appreciate your time. I know you got a lot going on, and hopefully we'll see you real soon.
Looking forward to it, and I assure you, your parking space is safe.
Well, I appreciate that.
Take care, guys.
Thank you,
buddy.
Lenny. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Lenny, what a great guy. I mean, Lenny has
Lenny
been a great friend.
Lenny's been there for us when we got started.
Mhm.
The thing that really, about him was he told me or told us, maybe you were with us, I don't remember, but he always said, if you need me for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, call me and I'll come on and help you. And, I'll be there for you. And I've never went to him and he said he couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, even if we're at the racetrack, whatever you need, he's get you in touch with the right person, call the right person to make it happen. And John's got a question here. Why Jack is doing whatever he's doing. Does everyone else think that the tire shortage is causing the racing in late models to be kind of lackluster? To my knowledge, John, I don't think, at least as far as I know, hasn't been a shortage on the late model tires. I know they had some issues getting some of the grand stock tires for Langley Speedway. But I don't think tires, at least right now, to my knowledge, has been as much of an issue is from my know, unless somebody knows something differently than me. Who you calling?
Trying to get CJ on here.
Oh, CJ FACETS.
Yeah. He's supposed to be the next one. But anyway, he's not there right this minute, so maybe he'll be coming on in a few minutes.
But I mean, have you heard anything on time? I haven't heard anything besides the grand stocks that they didn't order them soon enough or whatever the deal is, but they weren't in production and they couldn't get them until a later date, and they started a few weeks later. So I've not really heard of any shortage of tires. Now the cost may have gone up. Now I think that's, of course, everything's gone up, but I don't know of anything so far as shortage of tires.
Well, all the divisions are having, they're having to make certain allowances for all the divisions and the tires and everything. I understand even the Legend Series had problems with tires.
Well, I know the Virginia racers that they're having some issues with. They're not sure what the deal is, and that could be a rush of production. And I'm not sure that, I know people were complaining about tires this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, on the limited side of it. Whether that will change, the tire scenario will change. I understand the tire problem, but I hope they keep the tires so at least the guys from Dominion, whether any of them will come or not, I would love to keep that open where people can go back and forth and run the limited here and there. Hopefully we can at some point get a little bit more in line with one another each racetrack and have a better communication, or not communication, but have more guys go up there and some guys come down here. I think there's a few guys going up there a few times. I think Riley, I think Derek talked about going up to Dominion some this year. Keith says, can't wait to see Tim Wilson back at the track in the grand stock. Yep. Tim is entertaining to watch, right? So I hope he does come back. Some of the classes are. I mean, I think the grand stock's got a few other guys this year, so hopefully they'll put on a good show. Didn't they already had their first? Did they have their first?
No, they
race?
haven't had a race yet.
Okay, so then this weekend, I guess, will be their first race.
So anyway, I sent a message to CJ and I sent a message to, we'll see if we get anybody on here. Yeah, JD Eversall did race this last Saturday in the limiteds. I thought that
Oh,
was
did he? Okay.
and he's pretty stout wherever he goes in the limiteds, wherever. I think he started. I think he was racing some at Dominion, and he used to race a lot at Southside.
Oh, not this weekend. So it's drift. So there is no. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the drift cars will be at Langley this weekend, Friday and Saturday. I know the weather right now is borderline whether it's going to be good or not. I think I'm going to try to slip up here and see it.
I've yet to come to one, and I keep saying want to. I don't think I'll be able to do it this weekend.
I think I want to slip up here and at least see it either Friday or Saturday. Try to run up here a little bit to see it, because next week on the show we're going to have all the owners of Southampton Motor Speedway on the show with us next week, and they're going to be talking about what they've done out there and what they're going to be doing as far as the drift series is concerned. So that's pretty big deal. So
the Grand Stocks have not raced yet, and like Robbie's saying, with JD coming to Langley, I think for that reason I would love to. I would hope they keep the same tires for that. I know there is some issue with some of the tires that are splitting after you set in the Connex box for the week and coming back the next week, and the tires are splitting or something from what I've heard a couple of weeks ago, and they're getting new tires. Running a new tire because their tire split as a safety. I don't know what you can do about it, or if there is a fix for it. I don't know. I mean, hopefully this batch of tires that they go through, maybe the next batch will be better.
Yeah, I think that. Well, maybe we can get Ronnie Thomas to come on early. How about that?
We can pull Ronnie up and see what happens. Then what you call it? Says they will need to connect their mic before you can add them. Or Ronnie, if you hear us, if you want to connect your mic and your camera, if he's watching, we can bring you on, but can't bring you on until you connect your mic. Have you guys heard anything on tire issues? I mean, other than the limited's having some tire issues, I don't know of any shortage of tires, especially in the late models. I haven't heard that. It hasn't seemed like there's going to be any. Well, Ronnie must be going to get out and get back in then, I guess. And if Ronnie is listening, if you open it up in a Chrome browser, it works. But definitely, Danny Harold, you got to hit us up or I'll get with you and we got to get you on. I mean, we need to try to get everybody from Langley at some point on the show.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, what class you're in, from U cars to late models to enduros. It doesn't matter. Everybody is equally as important.
Yeah, it's what we have a hard time when we get these bigger name folks on here. You notice this?
well, he's a busy man, so like he probably. Ronnie, if you open it in a Chrome browser, I don't know if you're opening it up in another browser, but if you open it in a Chrome browser, it works best. And crew chiefs, absolutely, Robbie. We got to get Robbie on here, but definitely not just drivers. Huh?
Who's got to get Robbie on here?
Robbie's my buddy.
Who's got to get Robbie Parker on here?
I got to get Robbie Parker on here, I guess. Car owners, yeah. I think everybody is equally as important. And we do, I don't know most of the crew chiefs. So, I mean, Robbie, maybe you can help us, because I do think it's important for the guys in the background to get recognition in these crew chiefs. And
I want good ones. I don't want Robbie.
Robbie's a winner driver and crew chief. The guys, they were fast the other week, although I forgot who ended up winning. I think they ended up third, I think. Let's see, Power Solutions. I have put a little bit of sponsorship using the Pro 6.
I won't
Tim
even
Wilson.
mention Southampton. Ain't no need for you to mention Southampton, Robbie.
Oh, he said it comes on. He won't mention Southampton.
Yeah, daggone right, ain't no need to mention Southampton because you don't know how to tell the damn truth.
With Sammy Gator. Sammy's funny. I love Sammy. And Kyle Nestor. I mean, hey man, we appreciate you for being a sponsor and sponsors too. To be completely honest, if you're a team that has a sponsor and you would like to bring them on, please hit us up, because I think the sponsor side of it, we can't do it without them. We can't do it without the fans, and we can't do it without the sponsors. And I think it's extremely important. Or if you want to announce and announce a sponsor on here, please hit us up.
All right, we got Ronnie Thomas. Guess we're gonna do this by phone this time. How you doing, Ronnie?
I'm doing good. I ain't never, you said do that Chrome browser or whatever. I've never done it on this phone. I'm not up on this modern technology to me, and I've been watching you guys on there talking, and the other guy that was on a few minutes ago, and I can't get it to pull up where y'all can see me and all this stuff now. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm talking to you anyway.
That's right. Well, we got you now. That's what counts. So we have a picture on here of your car the one you sent me yesterday, and I tell you what, I love that car. That is a heck of a car.
Well, we got this car back in when LG DeWitt. You remember that from Benny Park?
Oh yeah.
And they had an auction in the late 70s when they went out of business and sold everything out. So they had some 2 or 3 cars down there and equipment, and we got this car. Actually, I thought it was fairly cheap. Didn't have no motor transmission and drive shaft and pumpkin in it, but we got everything else. We ran it for a couple of years, and then we had a service station here in town, and we actually took it and at our service station, and we actually cut it from. A lot of you viewers know, and you guys probably remember, in 1981, we went from the 115-inch big cars down to the Cup cars, went to the 110-inch cars, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a 115-inch car, and it cut down to 110-inch. This is the car, of course, it's been totaled a couple times. It's an old banjo car, and we totaled it one time, and Dick Hudson, Dan Hudson, and Pagan put a clip on, and we totaled again, and they put a rear clip, and then we just kept it and run it for years. I sold it to a fellow in Roanoke, Virginia in '84, and he ran it about 8 or 10 races in '84, '85, and '86. To be honest with you, it sat outside for about almost 30 years, so I got it pretty cheap. I just actually restored the darn thing, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I tell people, it ain't Richard Petty and it ain't Bobby Allison, but it's my car, and I'm proud of it. And like a lot of other viewers and racers, we did the best we could with what we had.
Yeah, and the one time I saw you down in Mooresville, and you had that truck that you did too. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty cool. What have you done with that truck?
We worked on that thing 2 or 3 years, and I took it to 12 events, put about 2,500 miles on it, hauled my car in, and I took it, put it on the internet, and believe it or not, I drove it up to Maryland and put it on a ship and sent it over to a guy that races over in the Netherlands, and he races some other country too, but he uses it to actually haul his race car on.
Dang.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty good.
Would have not thought that.
Well, I'll tell you what aggravated me about it, and you got to realize, here's the thing I've come to realize the last couple of years. You just got to realize where you're at in the pecking order. I called Darlington, out of 4 years, I called them 3 about bringing the truck with the car on. That was a 63 hauler, and the first, that's, you folks, a lot of people know, a lot of older drivers and owners will know that used to have a lot of people use cab holders. They called them back in the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Right.
Well, I called Darlington 3 different times, and I said I got a pretty cool deal here. The truck and the cars painted up a lot, and a lot of time to make them look good and try to get them as accurate as I can. And which it wasn't my truck. We made it look like mine, but damn old truck. And of course, the car is my old car, and well, we'll let you know. And then a couple of months later, they call me back where we're filled up. So the next year, I called them. Yeah, we'll see what we did, whether we're full up. Then a year or two ago, I called them, and they said, we just don't have room. And when I look on TV, whatever, you'd see the Wood brothers have a car there, and Betty, and maybe another top team or two. And I just thought, heck fire. You know, you kind of think, you just feel a little left out. But, you know, you can, like I said, I just got to realize where I'm at in the pecking order. But you would think that, you know, I thought Darlington or Wilkesboro, he'd get invited to Wilkesboro. I thought something like that. Of course, I didn't have the truck for Wilkesboro, but I thought when I was going to take that truck with the car on it, I thought a lot of the younger folks could see what it, you know, what it looked like back then in the 70s and 80s, people hauling their stuff around on these trucks, but they just didn't seem too interested for some reason.
Huh. Yeah,
Well,
I'm surprised.
Matter of fact, I got a picture on my mantle of you, me, and that truck and car at Mooresville. And a lot of people have looked at that picture and said, well, where in the world did that come from? And I tell them who you are, and they say, oh, okay, I remember him. So it's really cool. I mean, you had a first rate thing there. I don't understand why they didn't have you down there.
I've yet to understand, but like I said, it's just where you're at in the pecking order. And I mean, you know, you try not to get your tip and third over. But I gotta tell you folks a good story. I sent you a picture of my rookie uniform and that grandfather clock where I won the Martinsville race in the late 80s. Did you get that?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I may have gotten it. I just didn't got it before I get to it.
All right, I think here's what I was going to tell you. There's a lot of these people that run late model stocks and mini stocks and super street and everything. And we ran Baby Grand Division back in the 70s. I run about 20, 25 races. Never did win. We led a couple races and crashed, blowed up one while we bleeding, and set on a couple of poles. So we quit that. In 77, we decided we run for Rookie of the Year, and we ran 4 races. And in 78, we ran for Rookie of the Year, and we won it. We couldn't have won it with all the competition. People had us outdollared, but, you know, so many of them was crashing out and blowing up their stuff, and we were just trying to get a good finish, and that's what we got. That's helped us, you know, that's what helped us win the rookie. But what I was going to tell you is so many people don't realize how many good drivers like this Queen guy, and I seen him run at Wilkesboro. I mean, this guy's fast, but there's so many people that run these Saturday night and Friday night tracks up your way and Kingsport and South Austin, all over the country, that will never get an opportunity to run Cup. And what I'm getting at is I ran 197 Cup races, and I don't know, I think I had 10 or 12 top 10s. You know, never had the success we wanted. The only thing we had a little bit of a claim to fame was the Rookie of the Year, and I tell people that. There's so many people that could do this stuff and win in Cup if they had the equipment, because they can do it in late model. I jumped in late models in the late 80s, and man, we was going to Martinsville, Wilkesboro, and Kingsport, and Coburn, and Motor Mile, which now it was Pulaski and New River when I run it, and winning races. And I thought then, I said, just don't make sense that, you know, you go up at Martinsville. When I was running there, it was 110 to 120 cars, all right?
Yeah.
If you remember that, I don't know how many shows up now, but back in the day, I mean, it'd take them 3 hours to qualify.
Yeah.
And it just, I'm thinking, man, I get out and we won Martinsville, and I tell some of the guys, when I went to late model lot, some of the guys quit. There was 3 or 4 hung with me. And I told guys, I said, it just don't make sense that we can run this good in late model. I mean, I got lineups for the Burton boys and a lot of people that won races and went to Bush and won some races and all. I don't understand. Of course, this was before they went to Cup. I said, how we can outrun these darn guys in late model, and yet we couldn't do it in Cup, and these guys do it in Cup. And I always tell people, don't get down on yourself because you're not in the upper division. Cause there's a lot of people, if they just had the opportunity and the right equipment and everything, they could do it. But it's always been the almighty dollar. But man, it's the almighty big dollar now.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie, you didn't cheat enough back then.
I'll tell you something. I was around it. You got to realize I went to Junior Johnson's shop probably 10 times a year. He's only an hour and 45 minutes. His shop in Rhonda. I go down there and get parts from him and used stuff. I go to Petty's and get used stuff from them. I got a couple things from the Woods Brothers. They were Ford, so it wasn't a lot of. Otherwise, some steering. I got a steering box. Still have it. I got from them when they went to Power Steering. I got their manual steering box. Actually run on my late model. I still got it, but it's. I tell you, just get back to it's the haves and the have-nots, and it'll always be that way. And it's so many good drivers, Friday and Saturday night drivers, man, that will just never get the opportunity.
Yeah. And it's so difficult for back in when you did it, you could buy a car and kind of go and get some experience, and you just can't hardly do that today.
No, I mean, this car here, I think we get $7,000 for it, and it just, we had to put a motor and transmission and drive shaft and pump it and run it. But I want to tell you one other thing. Of course, you all know of Jack Ingram, right?
Right, yep.
All right, I want to tell you something. In 1995 or 6, we were winning. I mean, you know, we was pretty well collecting 15 to 20, 25 late model races, winning, going around different places, and especially if our actual stomping grounds was up at New River Pulaski Speedway call back then. And, you know, in Cup, you look at top teams would actually take their cars out. You know, I drove Elmo Langley's car, relieved. I relieved for Jimmy Means at Nashville when it was hot. I actually put Dick May in my car. I got out, was about to pass out on the ground that night, and then I lay down about 5 minutes. Jimmy Means' crew chief come and said, "You got to get in Jimmy's car." I said, "What?" He said, "He's about to pass out." I said, "Heck, I'm now coming back too." So I got in his car, and I did not realize Jimmy Means was the track champion at Nashville Speedway, the old track back in the day at the fairgrounds. And I got in it, and it handled so good. And I come up on my car with Dick May in it. And when I got up beside him coming out of the corner, when I went down the straightaway, I was waving at him. And after the race, I said, "Did you see me waving at you?" And he said, "Well, I thought it was Jimmy." I was wondering, what in the world is he waving at me for? And I said, "No, that was me in Jimmy's car." I said, "I got to see what it's like passing my car for a change."
That had to be kind of weird.
Hey, I got to tell you a quick one on Jack Ingram. We got a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. You got plenty of time. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you how things change when you run up front late model and when you struggle in Cup. In 95 or 96, NASCAR made a rule change. We was winning a lot of races at just one particular track up here in Virginia, and they put a 25-pound extra weight on the left side to slow us down. And we won. The next week, they put 25 pounds on the right. We won. So we come back, and they put 30 more pounds on the left. And to be honest with you, even with the extra weight, it didn't hurt us too much qualifying. Before later on the race, we was winning, but it really brought us back to the point where we would win or we'd be second and third, win and second, third. We was winning, but just wasn't quite as dominant, shoving all that weight on us. But people, I'd go up there on Saturdays, and it'd be people come up and say, "Ronnie, would you take my car out this morning? But just see what you think. You know, you have to run 8 or 9 laps, and it's too tight, it's too loose. You need to put some lead in it, put a sway bar in there, take whatever you do." And I'd have somebody about every week or two, and they went to Martinsville, and Jeff Agnew was getting his feet wet and late model then, and his dad said, "Go down to Martinsville." This was like 1990. "Would you go to Martinsville and practice the car, and Jeff's going to be there, and I don't care what we got to get. We need shocks, we need tires. Just take it out and run it, and you spend 2 or 3 hours, and we'll do the work on it." And I run and put, because, you know, just get it set up where it's pretty good. Of course, Jeff Agnew got so darn good you couldn't help him. Darn, I got to the point where I didn't help me later on. Well, make a long story short, that's the way things was going back then. Well, in 95 or 6, we went up for Friday and we were going to have like a 200-lap race. I told the guys that was David Hyder and I think might have been Curtis Markham. Y'all remember that fella?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Curtis Markham, yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it was Curtis, but it was a bunch. Jay Fogelman and Barry Beckley and Greg Marlowe and Eddie Johnson and I think maybe Wayne Patterson. It was like 40 cars come down and they started 30. But so we went up on Friday to practice. I said, we better get a little practice. These guys coming in here, they're going to be loaded for bear. So Jack Ingram was there, and he had that number 11 school car. And so I'd run a little bit, and his crew chief, and I cannot remember this, but Kerry Botenheimer told me this guy's name, and I can't remember which crew chief for him. And he'd come up, and I was standing beside the car, and the guy tell me, well, we'll change anything or not. And he said, would you do somewhat? He said, Jack, let me down here, we'll let you run his car a little bit. And I said, well, shoot, that's nice. I appreciate it. Yeah. And he had a front steer truck arm car, big frame. So I got in it. He said, now get out there and run it pretty hard. I said, okay. And so I got out and run probably about a dozen like a minute. And I come in and him and Jack stuck her head and dropped the window net down, stuck her head in. They said, what do you think? And I said, man, this car, you can just tell you got people working on it, knows how to set a car. So I said, it gets in great. And actually, it gets off pretty good, but I sit in the center. I put it a little too much wheel to the left, got a little bit too much push in the center. And he looked at Jack and looked at me, and he said, it was exactly what Jack said. So he said, I know you've been running this track. We want somebody to run this track. Tell us what you thought. But here's what I'm telling the other drivers that's in lower divisions. It's funny how when you run good in a late model and you run up front, how people will ask you to help them in different divisions. And even I told the guy, I said, yeah, I realize who that is. I said, that's a pretty big honor. Jack Ingram just ain't going to pit anybody in his race car. So that's what I'm saying. I waited where we messed up was after we won Rookie of the Year. We just could not. I mean, we had this advance auto on the car, so we had McCord. Most of our sponsors was $1,000 a rate. We pick up a good one for Daytona was for the 500 when we make it $3,000, stuff like that. But we should have fit in like 81 when we were really struggling. We should not have stayed in Cup 2 or 3 more years and just shown up to be also ran for doing the best we could. We should have got us a boost car from Banjo or whoever was on top of things then, and got us I guess it'd be a BNR engine or one of them guys. And we couldn't maybe run the whole circuit, but go to like South Boston and Bristol and some of them tracks I were a little familiar with, and up you guys way up at Richmond and run from those races. That is where we made our mistake. We spent too much time struggling because I realized when we went to the late model, if you win and run against some of the people, I mean, it wasn't always tough competition. But when you went to Martinsville and, we went to Wilkesboro one, with 85 cars there trying to make the field, and we won the race there. And I'm thinking, man, I just spent too much time in the upper division. I should have went to the lower division. Yeah.
Well, Ronnie, what do you do now? Do you just work on rebuilding cars or whatever now?
No. I got a few rental properties. My dad got them in the 60s and 70s when you could buy a house. And I just got a few of them, and we kept them, and I've just kind of kept them up. And, if they need to come out, put it in, and need a sink, you fix it. But I've got them in pretty good shape. So, I always said you kind of try to get to the point in life when you get older, you kind of let your money work for you and you don't have to work for it. So I'm not at the, I'm 68 years old, so I'm kind of letting the money work for me a little bit. It gives me more free time, and, I'll take this car here. I just put the contingency decals on the left fender the day before yesterday when I sent you the picture. So I got it pretty well fixed up, taped to the Moonshine Festival in September, and I tell you, I talked to somebody Sunday, stopped by here, and they're bringing their dirt car there. I cannot remember the fellow's name, but his dad and him race up that way, and they're bringing their car this deal in September. But that deal is really starting to be something big, and if it's run right, I think it is. I think we'll see. I'm guessing they had 80-some cars there last time, and darn if it didn't rain, but I'm figuring it'd be 80 to 100 cars there this time. You meet a lot of celebrities, a lot of crew chiefs, a lot of people. There will be a lot of drivers there, but one thing I like about it, you'll have a lot of mechanics, crew chiefs. There's a lot of people out there that don't get a lot of the recognition that they deserve that worked on some of these cars. You know, Dale Inman and Jake Elder and Peter Johnson and people like that. They're always going to get some coverage, but I like when you go there, it let some of the lesser known name get to meet and greet with the people. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm gonna try to get up there sometime to that. I mean, that's up at Mount Airy, right?
That's at Mount Airy, North Carolina. It's September the 9th, I think. It's on a Saturday. But, yeah, you need to get up there. When you came there last time, it's so many people I was talking to, I didn't get to talk to you much.
Yeah. And the last time we were together, I didn't get a chance to talk to you either. The last time I talked to you at any extended time was when we were in Mooresville at the Hall of Fame down in Mooresville. We talked for a while there, but I'll tell you what, I want to come by and see your place one time and see all the stuff you got.
You're welcome anytime. I enjoy showing it to people. It's like from 53 till about 2000. A bunch of my dad's stuff, a bunch of my stuff. It's Cup, it's some Bush stuff, it's late model. I got even a little bit of Indy and just a little bit of drag pieces. Like from Mario Andretti piece and Don Garlick's piece and Don Perdome Hot Wheels piece where he signed it. Just things like that. I've got different late model guys stuff. I like Cater, the little guy, but it's just stuff like that. But I got the garage up to 25 by 28. It's pretty well full. And I got one room in my house was a living room. I took everything out and found me a bunch, 6 or 8 used showcases. So I got them full. I got up y'all's way. Ray Hendricks.
Right. Yeah.
I got Ray's trophy from Hickory. It was a Hickory North Wilkesboro Challenge race. So they must run 2 races to win something. It's 1978. I got his Firestone coat draped over it. So, I just got a lot of Thomas. I got his coat on his trophy. I got a lot of otherwise in Cup. And I appreciate all the people. Everybody, we all appreciate Rick Petty and Bobby House and Dave Pearson. But, hey, what would you do if it wasn't for all these other hundreds of guys that run?
That's exactly right. It wouldn't be no NASCAR if it wasn't for all these other guys.
Well, yeah, people don't realize Richard Petty and Bobby Allison, Buddy Baker, and Pearson, and Cal Yarborough, they had to have somebody pass to make it look good. And you know what? I made sure they passed me so it looked good.
That's right.
Well, Ronnie, we appreciate your time, and we'll get you back on here again and talk some more because you got some good, interesting stories to talk, and we'll get you back. And I'm gonna try to get up that way to see you sometime. I'm gonna be coming out there pretty soon, so I might stop by there to see you.
Anytime you want to stop by, you stop by. The way I won't see you if I'm 6 foot under. Then if you come by, I won't know if you came by or not.
Well, hopefully I can get out. I got it. My family's originally from out in the Princeton, West Virginia area, and
hey, 60 miles from me.
So I try to get out there every now and then and see my family and stuff out that way. So I'm gonna try to get up there and stop by and see you too.
I want you to do it. Yeah, it's Mike Porter country over Princeton. You remember old Mike Porter?
I sure do. Yes, sir. I remember him I've talked with him several times.
Yeah, he's passed away. Yeah, I'm seriously. You stop by, and anybody will stop by sometime. Let me know ahead, and be glad to show you some more. It ain't no Wood Brothers or Petty, Blake, but for a little old Ford, I've saved a lot of stuff. So anytime y'all want to stop by, you're welcome to stop by.
All right,
right,
man.
buddy.
Well, we're going to do that. And thank you for your time. And we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you guys for being on. Have a great night.
You
You
too.
too.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bye-bye.
You got to like guys like
Oh, yeah.
That's the history of the sport. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
I was talking. I forget who I was talking to this weekend. Somebody in my family or somewhere I was talking to them. Talking
Yeah,
about
are you starting to lose your memory?
Yeah, pretty much. Don't start with me, okay? Well, it was. I think. Lord have mercy. Ron's trying to get back on.
Eddie's hit me in Princeton this weekend. He's got his Jack Dodson inside their new sticker riding.
Hey, yeah, you need to. Yeah, you need to go up there and let everybody know who you are.
Atlee, yeah, Atlee. We said, and we had Atlee on week before last.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he's done well since we had him on.
Yeah,
So you
what
come
a
on
nice
the show,
kid.
you do well. You come on this show, you do well. You're the only exception to the rule. Anyway, all right, Tyler Matthews. I don't know where he's at. I see where he's trying to get on, but are we having the same problem with him too?
I don't know. Tyler, you can turn your mic and your camera on. Tyler might not be that.
At least I know I'm not the only person around here that can't. Well, here's what we got.
We got a blank screen. Oh, wait, man. What's up, Tyler?
Hey, I was texting you guys, let you know it said I was backstage. I could hear you, but I guess you couldn't hear me.
Well, we didn't have you on.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Can you see me now?
No, it's just a black screen. I mean, you're not that pretty anyway, but
Yeah, I can see myself if that counts.
is that really? I don't know.
Yeah, it shows me up there.
There's a little circle thing and it ain't coming up. But either way, maybe it'll come up. The internet's been kind of goofy up here, or maybe it's just your internet.
Anyway, Tyler, tell us all about the race. What you got going on racing? We tried to get you on one time before when we had Van Dyke on here, and I hadn't had you on since then. But what's going on with you this year?
Not a whole lot. I've been racing Wake County and Hickory. It feels like about every weekend, but we finally got a weekend off this week, so take a little break and we'll be back at it next week. Yeah, I think the last time you guys had Van Dyke on, I was supposed to be on, and we were in the shop until late, and I completely forgot about it. But I set an alarm to get out of there early today, so make sure I made the show on time.
Now, what's it like driving for the king of Kingsport?
Yeah, I've talked to Chris a little bit over the years, just racing around him and stuff, and really enjoyed our conversations, and the chance to run Hickory with him some this year kind of popped up with him and Lee McCall's relationship there. So I've got to know him pretty well here the first part of the year, and I mean, it's an awesome family, and Chris and I mean, they'll do anything for you and bring good race cars to the track.
Yeah, Cress is, I'm good friends with Cress, and Cress is one of those guys that he enjoys what he does.
He doesn't say that. You're the only one that says that
He does say that.
Y'all are good friends. Don't believe him.
He does say that. Anyway, Tyler, now you race over at Wake County. Is that your car you race at Wake County, or?
Yeah, that's right. That's in my own stuff. So kind of how the year we were going to run about 10 races up there at Hickory with him, and on the full year at Wake County. Just trying to go a few more starts, see how the state point stuff shakes out here in North Carolina. But then I don't know, we're probably 7 or 8 races in at Hickory up there, and we're leading the points. So I think we're going to stick it out the rest of the year and see if we can go after that championship too.
Kind of hard not to at this point, right?
Yeah. At this point in the season, we've had some good runs. I think one weekend 2 weeks ago, we got racing for second, got caught up in a little incident, and just had a string of bad luck. The rest of the night, it's the first races we finished outside the top 5. So we put together some good, strong finishes, picked up a couple wins. We're liking just a little bit there for to chase down the 23. He's been fast every week, but we're all over it. Picked up 2 seconds this weekend. We're knocking on the door there from winning a bunch of races at Hickory.
Now, I was watching some highlights of stuff from Hickory the other night. And you were lucky enough to be in front of all that stuff that was going on, out there on the track.
Yeah, we were all over it. We were just one little incident away from being in the middle of it, but it was happening all around us. But we had a good enough car to stay out of it. Just liked a little bit there to race for the lead, but we learned some things to put forth next week and try to get out front and stay out of that mess. It's a lot safer out there.
But it's really cool that you can go to a place of the history that Hickory has, and Crest with all the wins he's got. So that's got to be a big deal when you go down there and have one of his cars and do as well as you've been doing.
Yeah, that's right. And it's kind of, he's run there and had some success and some limited starts, but it's kind of a new place for him too. And I've run there a little bit of the tour, never raced there weekly. So us both going down there this year for like a first full year. We've been behind the 8 ball a little bit, doing some learning, but I think we're building a pretty good notebook for the second half of the year, and we should start to get that place figured out.
So what's it like? Give me the differences between Hickory and Wake County.
Man, they're not, Hickory is like the Talladega, and Wake County would be like the Martinsville. Man, Hickory's old and wore out. You got to save tires. It beats you to death. Wake County after the repave, man, it's tiny, brand new asphalt, smooth as glass, and you just haul ass the whole time. You don't save any tires.
Now that's Hickory. I've been to Hickory several times, and I tell you what, that's a great place to race. I mean, the history and everything there. That's huge. That's a great place. That's the birthplace of racing, really.
That's right. Yeah, it's very very racy. I like, especially the second race when everybody's got a little top kind of comes in and you can hang tough up there. You don't want to do much in the first race, burn your stuff up, but the second one you can really run the top and make some hay up there. It's really fun place.
So how's your season going at Wake? I mean,
we've won. We've what we turned out, we've won. So we've had 3 races or 2 weekends up there. One night was a single event and then twins, and we've managed to win all of them so far. So can't win them all if you don't win the first 3.
Jesus, okay.
That's true.
You done won more in 2 weeks than Scott and I won the whole time we were.
Speak for yourself, Jack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've picked up 5
So
wins
who all
so far
helped
this
you with
year.
your car at Wake? Who all helped you on the car at Wake?
That's kind of like our family-owned deal. I got a pretty good sponsor in Dodson'S Garage. Man, Jim, he's the guy that's in the shop with me every night working on this thing. And then Doug Barefoot, and he comes to the track and kind of calls the shots on race day. Kind of turn everything over to him. I focus on being a driver, let him crew chief. And got some help. Comes in and out. And Thomas Burbage, you guys probably remember him from some of the East Carolina days. Yeah. He's kind of taking the back seat to driving with his son, racing bandos, and coming and helping me at the track, spotting a little bit for me. And then we got a few guest appearances in Robert Arch at Wake County up there. We were joking the other night and told him we were pretty good there because we've been to the Robert Arch driving school at Wake County. Yeah, it's just a kind of a piecemeal crew we throw together. But Doug, he's been with me since I actually bought my late model from him when we first went late model racing, and that's kind of where my 63 number come from. That was his number, so we've kept it on the car, and he's been crew chiefing me all these years.
No. So when you bring a spotter when you drive for Chris, or does Chris spot for you?
Yeah, no, my guys come with me too. So like Doug and Thomas and those guys, they come and help crew the car with Chris and everything and spot. Okay. So it kind of has that same feel as my team does. We just kind of jump right in and help Chris work on his car.
Okay.
Well, you got a pretty good lineup of folks helping you there with. Well, I'm not going to say anything good about Burbage, but anyway,
it's questionable.
But anyway, you
Yeah,
got
that's right.
questions, and you got to overlook Burbage. So we'll say you got good people except Burbage.
Yeah.
I think we're losing you.
He gone.
Can you hear me?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, Tyler, we appreciate your time. I mean, we're having some internet issues. We'll get you back on here again real soon and talk to you again. How about that?
Sounds good. Maybe I'll get you good luck for being on the show.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you again real soon, okay?
Say about it.
Aaron Goodman calling somebody trouble. It must be
Wait,
you.
it was you. You know that.
When are you going to give out some Jack Dodson with Scott Allen hats? Scott and I are going to come up with a plan on how we're going to do this.
I don't know. We don't have a bunch of hats.
We don't have a lot of hats. We got a few hats, but
We got some cups. We got some plans with some cups, right?
well, yeah, we'll make sure we're all the same. I don't want to start doing stuff and Scott's well, I didn't tell you we could do that.
Yeah.
So we got some cups that we're going to give out. But anyway, next week's show, we're going to have a good one next week. We're going to have Justin Kern come by here. He's going to do the drawing for the Louis Pasteur's Memorial Race.
Yeah. Pick whatever team you're on.
Yeah, he's going to do that next week. We're going to have Brendan Butterbean Queen, and I hope he brings a steel with him. So I'd like to see that. And then we're going to have the three guys from Southampton Motor Speedway. They're going to be coming here to talk about the drifting and stuff they're going to be doing out there.
So everybody will be in house.
And everybody will be here, and it'll be we'll see what the future holds for Southampton Speedway and what their plans are. I've enjoyed talking with them and hearing some of the things they're going to be doing, and it's nice to know that the track is going to come back in some shape, form, or fashion. I mean, it's been sitting there for a long time with nothing, and I think it's really cool. Just hope everybody supports it like they're supposed to.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. And Danny Harold, hit us up. I'll reach out to you.
ASAP. Hit me up ASAP.
And then Keith too. I see. I don't know how. I mean, Eddie's a great cook. Eddie's barbecue is like some of the best over here. I don't know how good a crew chief he would be. He was Keith's crew chief apparently. Did you imagine?
I'm not going to say nothing bad because he does the cooking.
Yeah, pick and choose your battles.
I ain't getting involved in it because did you see what he did the other day? Somebody gave him some Martinsville hot dogs.
Oh, really?
The red hot dog.
Yeah, they were born that way. That's what what's called. So.
Anyway, he got a bunch of the red hot dogs and made hot dogs and made the chili and everything to put on it and everything. And I told him, I said, "You didn't invite me?" He said, "You just like food. I mean, it didn't matter what."
It's true. It's true.
So next time,
he's a food whore.
Next time, Eddie, we want the hot dog. Now I want to try that now. So you got to bring that out.
If you didn't make everything look good,
I know, and he puts it right on Facebook, and I'm sitting there going, "Damn, I'm not but an hour away. I could be there pretty quick."
But Keith, I guess you raced here and you're sponsoring. I mean, reach out to us if you'd love to come on. We'd love to talk about maybe some of your old racing, and then and Eddie and how he was as a crew chief, and then how you're supporting some of the guys in divisions today.
And Eddie being such a great guy and a wonderful person that he is.
Maybe he'll bring some food for.
We'll get him to come with the night you come. We'll get him here. Maybe he'll bring them hot dogs when he comes over. So anyway. All right, well, that's our show for tonight. Please like, share our show, and hopefully, all things considered.
Yeah, even if you don't watch it, just turn it on. At least we can get a view out of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys.